What's going on, Taurus? And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and I hope you're having the most spectacular month so far. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just amazing, Taurus. And it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why, Taurus, because it is Celestial News Monday. You know, or something like that, Taurus. I always love Celestial News Monthly. Just gets me, just raises my vibration to the roof. But with this monthly spread, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where all the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just great all around here, Taurus. Now I have oracle cards with the zodiac signs that the sun and the planets are in. I'm going to pull an oracle card from this deck for each one of them, and then we will get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below are some links for some other readers that are like watching Taurus, so definitely check them out. Very intuitive group. I think you'll enjoy them as well. But before we get into your first card here, let's talk about this party that's not even really a party, this little intimate gathering that Virgo's throwing in their sign. Because you got the sun that's entering Virgo, and then their rulers deciding to do their retrograde dance. Because who doesn't love a good Mercury retrograde? But with the sun's going to enter on the 23rd of October of August, and that's what I see retrogrades kicking in. But of August, and that'll be about 4 a.m. Eastern time, and then we'll be there through the 23rd of September. And, you know, Virgo energy is very organized, very detailed, very analytical, very perfectionist of the zodiacs. But, this is a great energy for, things that have been feeling in disarray, Taurus, for getting things organized. This is also a great energy, too, for if you want to polish up any kind of skills or anything like that. And also great energy if you've been wanting to maybe be of service, whether that be doing some kind of volunteer work, doing some kind of community service, things along those lines. Fantastic energy for that. And also a really great cycle too, because Virgo deals with routines. Also a great cycle to establish some healthy routines in your if you've been wanting to work into integrate some new, you get what I'm saying, Taurus. Let's talk about this Mercury retrograde and how these effects are already in full swing here, because we got about 5 more days till it's happening here. But Mercury's going to go retrograde on the 23rd of August, same day the sun's entering, and it'll be retrograde through the 15th of September. And with this, you may notice that, because retrogrades really aren't a bad thing, Taurus, but you may notice that there are some trickiness with technology and things. So if you're expecting some important emails or any messages, anything like that, definitely kind of double check like your spam folder, things along those lines. Things tend to get a little wonky around these cycles. And then you may also notice too, just like I'm doing here. You're serving a word salad more, Taurus. I have a Gemini moon. Mercury rules over Gemini as well as Virgo, so that's why I think it's kind of hitting me a little hard there. But you might also experience some delays on the job, may notice some missed deadlines. Also, and this isn't medical advice, Taurus, but you may notice some health issues. Or there's great, not even notice health issues, but pay attention to your health, as far as like always, Taurus, but especially during this time, make sure we're managing stress levels, getting enough sleep, eating more natural foods, and and just things moving the body, things along those lines, Taurus. But this is also great for reviving any like old ideas or unfinished projects or anything along those lines. Let's get something with some writing on it, so maybe that'll keep me focused. Oh, and look at all right, Taurus. So really, let's pay attention to our health here, because you're syncing up with the energies in a cool way. But you got the 5th card of Virgos here, which is the headache card. And with this card, this is a card of poor health, dis-ease, illness, unpleasant, crisis, emergency, body signal, needing self-care, problem, root cause, annoying, disagreeable, something's off, pain, and underlying conditions. And the energy that's coming through here, Taurus, is the dis-ease. And Taurus, I feel like this is one where, especially with your sign, you are a very sensual sign. It's in the fact that your senses are, I feel, more acute than the other signs. That's one of your main superpowers. And we really want to be present and kind of really tune into your senses, tune into any sort of areas that don't feel right, because where I'm not, nothing against you know your body better than anyone else does. You're with you all the time. And if something feels off, then this doesn't even just have to be physical, Taurus. This could be mental, this could be spiritual. But whatever it is, if one of them's off, they're all going to get off. And so we want, if you've noticed anything, like let's say there's a lack of sleep, or maybe you've been feeling a lot more, been getting a lot of headaches, or maybe you've been just not been in touch with source, been kind of disconnected from from your, however you connect to source, higher self, the angels, spirit guides, whatever that's looking like, making sure that we're just taking care, whether that's if we need to check in with our healthcare physician, maybe if we're wanting to get outside more in nature, kind of really get in physically, do some grounding, whatever that is. But yeah, we don't doubt these signals that the body gives, because the more that we put them off, the more we get used to them, and then the more that it's harder for higher self to get those signals out through to you to let you know that something needs to change. Because it's always interesting. I remember having a conversation with someone a little while back, and we were talking about how, as an adult, it's like you're expected to just get used to being tired all the time, and I feel like that's so silly, because we all, I feel that if that becomes the case, it really does. It's you're doing your body and your this vessel just a disservice, and to just kind of settle in like that. We can adjust, because you know what? When the body wants to stop, it will find a way to make you sit down and take a nap, however that's looking. So I feel like instead of having the body force you into this thing, let's do some preventative maintenance and things along those lines. And however that's look, maybe drinking some teas. I'm actually about to pour me some tea here in a second. It's still steep in some Taurus, but let's get some tarot on this and get some details. Thank you. All right, Taurus, let's see what's going on here. Oh, I love it. Oh, I really love it. All right, Taurus, let's get to it. All right, Taurus, this is very abundant, but we gotta, so let me tell you what's going on. So you have the Nine of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Chariot, and the Empress. And this is interesting, Taurus, because I feel like with the Chariot and the Empress, on a more kind of astrological level, this is, the Chariot is Cancer, the Empress being Venus. And with Venus in Cancer, you know, that reminds me of that's the Two of Cups energy. And I feel like that's that connecting with you and your higher self, you and this body here, you know, again, physical, mental, and spiritual. And I feel that if there's something that has been any sort of dis-ease that we've noticed, any sort of anxieties, you know, stressors, things along those lines, what is causing that? Because this could even be to, let's say, even on a more sort of like that sort of like mental spiritual aspect. Maybe it's the stuff that we're watching, for example, that's inducing these stress signals. Or maybe this is something that we're listening to. Maybe these are the people that we're around, you know, like when I was talking about the person's like, oh, you can just get used to being tired. And it's just like, no, we don't, let's not make that a trend. You know, let's get used to getting more naps. You know, we're always encouraging, it's so strange. We're always encouraging like the children to like go to sleep, get your rest, but we're not telling the adults to get your rest, go to sleep, do all this stuff. You know, it's very bizarre. And I feel that there is a need to make sure, because the Empress, especially when I was really kind of first starting off with this channel, you know, the Empress was my one of my main self-care cards. Whenever she popped up, it didn't matter what was going on. You make sure that you're taking care of the body, you know, that everything is in balance, you know, that your foundation is solid, because she rules both you and Libra. And you know, it's hard being an empress. You know, and I have Taurus in my midheaven, so I'm aspiring to be an empress, but you are one, Taurus. And we want to make sure that you are tending to this garden, you know, paying attention to the seeds that are being planted, because the pentacles deal with just more than your money. They also deal with your health as well. And when your health's off, your manifestation is off. And then that's going to affect your abundance, because we're not able to, the body and things like that, the tool that you need to manifest is not operating at its best, and it's slowing the momentum down, and it will keep that energy stagnant. So, you know, I feel like with this, you know, we really just want to make sure that we are just carving out pockets, because, you know, we can always say that, you know, we have all these responsibilities, we have all these things that we have to do. I have this, I have that, I have this, I have that. Well, you won't have anything. And this is not me trying to scare you, Taurus, but it's like we won't have anything if we don't have our health, you know, because then we can't do, then none of that is possible without us. So, okay, I thought I had more. I was on a roll. It was just like, yeah, no, I think that's all I got for you, Taurus. Oh no, I do have one more thing for you, Taurus, because depending on where your Taurus placements are at, I forgot, I skipped ahead here. This is going to be forming a trine with your sign, and trines are the most fortunate aspects for you, for us, Taurus. And trines really create like opportunities and luck, and it clears out the obstacles for you. But it's going to be something where we can't take advantage of that again if things are feeling off. And I can't stress this enough that it's not medical advice, but this is something where I feel that sometimes there's this dependency, kind of, or not even. Let me put it this way. There's I feel like a lot of the times, sure, we go to doctors and things like asking what is wrong, as opposed to telling them what is wrong. They don't get to tell us what's wrong. They can put it in a terms that, you know, and most of the time they're just talking that medical jargon. But it's, and listen, I have nothing against doctors or anything, but we want to make sure that it's just like it's you are meant make sure we just really knowing. Yeah, let me move off that, Taurus. I think you get where I'm going with that. So, all right, Empress, let's have you front and center. I like that, and let's talk about the Empress, since she's made such a grand entrance here. Libra got the Empress too, and the Nine of Pentacles. So you both, you know, it's let's work on that Empress energy. But with Venus. Venus is retrograde right now, and it's a great time for slowing down, Taurus, and reflecting. But just with retrograde energy in general. But Venus is going to be retrograde in Leo until the 3rd of September. And with this energy, this is a really great, just on a more kind of creative standpoint, because you in Libra being Empress ruled really are just blessed with that artistic eye, you know, that appreciation for beauty and things, and not even just looking at it and just being beautiful, but it's bringing that beauty out to the world as well there, Taurus. And you really are in like just a very creative space, and it's about finding that different modalities that work for you, whether that's through song, through dance, through, and that might be some ways to work through this dis-ease too. Maybe there just hasn't been enough time for recreation, you know. Maybe it's just been maybe we've just been in more so kind of business type of Empress mode, where it's just been work, 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 work all the time, you know. But it's time to create, manifest, enjoy, joy, 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 joy all the time. But please finding that balance there, Taurus. And also great energy for building up self-confidence too. But you may notice as well that maybe some past relationships may come up for you, whether this be, and this doesn't just have to be in love, but it could be in love, in friends, familial, things along those lines. So something to pay attention to there. But also, depending on where your Taurus placements are at, this is forming a square with your sign, and squares are tricky energies. They're a bit they're almost like they're kind of similar to towers in the sense of like you may feel that you're kind of like forced in different difficult situations. There may be delays, and it's like the energies aren't very harmonious. But if you can find a way to work with this, use these situations as a way to push forward, then the reward will be great, Empress level. But it's something that we have to, I feel like squares are to remind us of just how resourceful we can be in a pinch, Taurus. So just something to think about there. But let's get get an oracle on this. Oh, look at you. All right. Thank you. Because you got the first card of us. I see we might be. Oh, and one more thing. Actually, I'm just thinking with Venus being in Leo, since we're talking about that. Let me just tell you about your card. Because you got the first card of Pisces, which is the Roses card. And with this card of love, romance, affection, appreciation, devotion, fond, delighted, high emotional IQ, gifts, friendship, infatuated, enchanted, passion, fidelity, tender, yearning, and attached. And the energy, and the energy that's coming through here, Taurus, is the romance. And the thing with Venus also being retrograde, where love isn't impossible with Venus being retrograde, but things slow down a little bit. So this really allows you to be present and really to get to know the person who we're trying to be romantically involved with. And so if we're noticing that we're having troubles with that, that's part way because of Venus retrograde. But this gives you time to find, that kind of that quality mate, the one that really can set your heart ablaze and to, just give you all the warm and fuzzies, because I tell you what, Venus in Leo is a very romantic place, because Leo is also about love, and I'll tell you what, my Venus is in Leo, and it's all about this. That's really big love for the Empress to have. So I feel like this is a really great time for you if you're looking for love. Really make a grand gesture. Like let's set up something nice. Maybe we're going, instead of just doing like maybe like your typical. Maybe like just going out for dinner or going to like a bar or something like that. It's like maybe we're going to like a drive-in movie, or maybe we're having a picnic, or maybe I don't know, maybe we're going out to do something like an activity together, whether that be maybe going to do something where they have like those what are those things like the art and wine type of nights, or it doesn't even have to. We don't even have to drink Taurus, but it's just like something where I feel like it's like getting this really gives you a chance to kind of let your kind of spoil the other person in a sense, like really kind of show them what you got there, like what to expect, when they're dealing with a Taurian. And if we're in a relationship right now, I feel like when's the last time that you maybe brought your lover some roses, or maybe did something nice like that, had a special kind of date night, and maybe even just making that a routine, maybe like once a week, just like, or however often you want to have. You don't need an excuse of just like, hey, this can you tell I love talking about romance stories? But it's that's lovely. I think that's about. We're just gonna sit here gushing. Let me pour some tea up here, Taurus, and then let's get some tarot on this. I like that. Oh, let me get some more. Oh, getting a lot of nines here, Taurus. Thank you. Let's see what we got here. Oh, one of your cards. Oh, and Queen of all right. Let me tell you what's going on. Because you got the Nine of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, one of your cards, and then you got the Queen of Wands here. And the Queen of Wands, she's a little spitfire. She's a little attractive figure. And I feel that, Taurus, if you've been feeling Venus is in Leo. If you're, in Leo, I feel like likes to show off as well, like, and not in like just like a like, oh, look at me, but more so just like a, hey, bae. I don't know what's going on, Taurus. I feel that, if you've really been just kind of feeling yourself, I feel like this is a great time for you to, especially if we're looking for love, put yourself out there, see what that's looking like, It's because it's one thing to want romance and want love and things, but it's another to take action. I feel that if we, kind of Knight of Pentacles and kind of drag our feet on this stuff, love is going to take a while to come in. And it's not to say that we're just like, speed dating or just putting ourselves, but it's just more so just maybe being less like methodical about it, maybe with the Knight of Pentacles. Maybe this has been something where, because I remember talking with someone once, and they were telling me how they were like looking for dates. They're actually about to get married next year, but they were talking about how it was like they were going on like a date a week and things along those lines and doing this stuff. And it almost sounded like, yeah, sure, they're enjoying themselves, but it almost seemed like an interview process. I was just like, that's aggressive. And I feel like this is something where it's like the Knight of Pentacles is more so kind of asking you to relax a little bit and to kind of, when we're finding this thing, just kind of enjoy this moment. And really, that's when I feel like it's a balance between, as far as like when we're looking for it, it's like between the Queen of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles here as far as the pace. But I do feel like that, you're in a great energy for really finding love here, Taurus. So all right, let me go ahead and move out of that. So I feel like I might be doing a lot. But just something to think about there, Taurus. I like that. But let's talk about Libra next. Because you have Mars that's getting ready to enter Libra. Mars is going to enter on the 27th of August and will be there through the 11th of October. And with this energy, this is great for, creating new alliances and strengthening existing ones as well. And you may notice, Taurus, that you're feeling a little more friendly, a little more thoughtful towards others. It's really, really great energy. Might notice too that feeling a little more diplomatic in your speech as well. Libra has a way of bringing harmony and balance and being like an arbitrator, or like a mediator in things, being the ones that can bring peace, maybe between, if we're noticing that maybe our friend group or something maybe happen to have a little tiff, or there's in harmonious energy, but we made something to be mindful of is repressing our feelings in order to keep the peace. It's one thing to kind of pick and choose your battles, but it's another if we're just like, people pleasing and things along those lines there, Taurus. But let's get some oh yeah. Okay, let's get an oracle on this. Ooh, a little more Pisces energy. I'm with it. So you got the third card of Pisces here, which is the roundabout card. And with this card, this is a card of community, connections, new direction, keep it moving, controls the flow of information, solution, circular reasoning, fluid, many working parts, perfect timing, and redirect. An energy that's coming through here, Taurus, is the connections. And so you really are, even if this is not in a romantic sort of capacity, I feel that, there's this energy of needing to maybe make some more connections, maybe getting out and hanging out with some friends, or maybe going out and doing like some group activities, whether this is joining, like maybe you would want to do like a sports group, or maybe join like an art group, or maybe we go to like a festival, and who knows, like down the line, while you're making these connections and networking and things, love could come along the way. But also I feel too, just since we were talking about that, because those are very contradicting energies, and that is interesting since Pisces and Virgo are opposite signs of the zodiac. But I feel like we also want to be mindful of energies that in the people we're connecting with, especially if they're bringing any sort of dis-ease as well, and how that energy can affect you as well, especially if you notice someone who's been just kind of maybe spiraling as of late, and just kind of trying to keep as many people as in this maybe pity party, or kind of self whatever cyclone. I thought I had something clever there, but it's fine. But that's this connection stuff is definitely what Mars and Libra is all about here, Taurus. So definitely take advantage of this. Who knows how this could even be potential, maybe like business prospects, or however, that's job opportunities. You never know what who you're talking with, and so something to be mindful of there too. Bring that Empress game wherever you're going. But let's get some tarot on this, get some details. Thank you. Alright, Taurus. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, another ace here. So you have the Six of Swords. Oh, sword party. So you got the Six of Swords, the Knight of Swords, and then the Ace of Swords here, Taurus. And the swords. I feel that this is the swords are air energy. Air energy deals with that, with communication and things along those lines. And I do feel that for some, there could be some new opportunities, I feel, for you if you were to go out there and network. Because the Knight of Swords, for me, this is Aquarius energy. He rules the first two decans of Aquarius and the last of Capricorns. And I do feel like for some that there could be, especially if we're thinking about maybe doing some sort of like, because even with this romance, this could be maybe even doing some things with things that we love. It's like maybe you happen to be out doing some artwork, and then someone happens to notice your stuff, and it's just like, yo, Taurus, have you ever thought about doing stuff on a canvas? I own this studio, blah 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 blah, and then look at that, new opportunities opening up for you. A new experience to give something a try. And I kind of feel too that with this Ace of Swords, if you are presented with some sort of like, maybe if like someone has like either present you with an offer, or maybe if someone even like present you with an idea, or if you even have an idea, I feel that there is the Knight of Swords where, yeah, there can be a card of like kind of get, kind of putting in a lot of, not like a lot of work, but it's like, is getting ready to deal with some challenges and things in order for, but it's looking towards the future, you know what I mean? And getting ready to accomplish something here. There's, let me get a little bit more with this Knight of Swords here, Taurus. Oh, interesting. Okay. Thank you. All right, here's hubby. And I mean the Emperor. Because you got right. So, all right, Taurus. So you have the Two of Wands, the Emperor, and then the Four of Swords here. And so I feel like with this, if you were to take this because the Two of Wands is one of Aries. The Emperor is Aries. The Two of Wands, this is Aries' hottest card. This is Mars in Aries. And I feel that if you were to start making some moves, whether this be in love or in otherwise, who knows how this partnership is about to look down. But I mean, come on, romance and the Emperor and the Empress being here, that's a pretty solid match. And I feel like the only one that would maybe even trump that, and this is just for me personally, I feel like yes, these two are divine counterparts, sure, but I feel like the real divine counterpart to Venus, the Empress, is the Tower, because where the Tower is Mars energy, and where the Tower brings change and discord. The Tower and the Empress have a beautiful relationship, because the Tower brings discord and chaos and changes and just completely destroys the foundation, the things that aren't previously working, so that the Empress can come through and sow seeds of abundance and beauty and wealth and comfort and things. So, but I do feel that, and listen, I'm not saying that if you give me an Emperor that's like, well, you're not bringing me Tower vibes, you're not bringing Mars vibes, but because Mars does rule over Aries, so it's fine, Emperor. I've been giving the Emperor some flack here as of late, but I do feel like the Emperor as well, though, is saying to take charge and to make, especially if things are coming, opportunities are coming your way. Make the most of that, Taurus, because who knows how this can really kind of change up where the future takes you. When we talk about the Knight of Swords, and this really could. And I'm also kind of getting with this too, just kind of as a sidebar here. Again, when we're talking with this ease, where we're finding, doing all these connections and things and whatnot, just making sure that we are resting up, because that is, just want to find balance in this, but. All right, Taurus, I'm with that. Let's put you here. Now let's. So I'm gonna do, while I'm getting things rearranged here, Taurus, let's talk about your energy, because you got Jupiter and Uranus that are in your sign, and they're actually both about to go retrograde. Because Uranus is going to go retrograde on the 28th of October, and will be retrograde till January next year, the 27th, 2024. And with this energy, Taurus, this is really a great cycle to embrace, novel ideas and things, and think about how you're going to how you contribute to society, because Uranus deals with innovation and the future and things, and also being, the fact that they rule over Aquarius, they deal with the collective as well. And it's just like, how are you bringing, especially when you were talking about with the Venus being in Leo as well, how are you bringing, Ten of Pentacles, and bringing, you're just raising the soul tribe's vibration through the roof. But also, you may notice changes in like food sources, the stock market, and the economy. So something to pay attention to there, Taurus. But then you got Big Papa Jupiter that's going to go retrograde on the 4th of September, and will be retrograde through the 30th of December. And with this really helps us adopt a more kind of practical approach towards our goals and make sure that we're really building things of value and longevity and that have structure here. So, really, we're in an age now, the only crazy idea is the one that's not being implemented, but we do want to make sure that it does have some long standing, that it really does, just really think about that, Taurus. And then depending on where your placements are at, this is going to be forming a conjunction with your sign. And conjunctions can be, they're interesting energies because it's when the planet or the sun and moon are within 0 to 3 degrees of your sign. And it's just like the energies are blending together, and it might bring about some stress at first because people may notice things like changes about you, Taurus, and you're still trying to comprehend how things are being kind of integrated. So not a time to panic or anything, but just definitely something to notice these changes in yourself. It's like they bring about a different lesson and things for you, or a different kind of focus for you whenever they happen to make their lap around to your placement. So, but let's get an oracle on this and get some details. Thank you. Interesting. All right, so you're getting a lot of mutable signs here, Taurus. So you have the 4th card of Sagittarius here, which is the gavel card. And with this card, this is a card of conviction, decisions made, pay attention, offer accepted, legal matters, court order, fair, finished, being judged, bring order, serious situation, important decision, and assertion. And energy that's coming through here, Taurus, is a serious situation. And so if we have some things that we need to deal with, this is kind of going, yeah, okay. So this is kind of going back to that, circling back for some to this dis-ease here. I feel like we want to try to get ahead of some things now before things turn into a serious situation later. We may say like, because I remember I have a buddy, one of his favorite lines. He's a Capricorn, and one of his favorite lines is just like, I'll sleep when I'm dead, and it's just like, okay, be careful with that, because if you keep pushing the body like that, the body will make you stop. When it can't go anymore, you will rest. We just want to be careful of things, I feel like, getting out of hand, And if there's something that we're needing to deal with, don't wait on this. Like, whatever that's looking, it may not be maybe pleasant in that moment, but it's going to be extra unpleasant if we put it off. We've let a mountain, or let a molehill become a mountain. So yeah, I don't think I need to go too much into that there, but let's get some tarot and get some details on this. I almost kind of get to Taurus, just kind of been thinking about that on a less more kind of less, I don't want to say panic spot or anything like that, but I feel that maybe like this serious situation could be, again, some opportunities, some connections that you might make, and it's just want to pay attention to that as well. That's let's try not to play 70. Hold on, let me try not to drop all the cards all over the place more. Okay, dope. Alright, hold on. That's what I get for trying to multitask. Let's see what's going on here. You're getting a lot of knights here too, I see. Because you have the 8 of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands, and then you have the Sun card here, Taurus. And I feel like for some, there's a need to, because the eight of Pentacles, this more so feels like if we're really kind of working ourselves too hard. I feel there's a need to make sure that we're balancing out this time to fill up our world with some sunlight, with some fun here, because the Knight of Wands is one to Leo energy. Knight of Wands is one that is meant to, he loves enjoying himself. You know, he loves he's a pleasure seeker in a sense. You know, he likes to he likes to, yeah, just like live the good life. You know, and then really just kind of bask in the sunlight and do the things that he wants to do and things along those lines. So I feel like it's finding a healthy balance of that, because that really does well for your vitality when we're just thinking about the sun and just in general. You know, that's your will. You know, your life force and things along those lines. So. But I'm also kind of getting with the sun here that there's a need, whatever this serious situation may be, there's a need to really, there's a shining of light that's needed to be on like this dis-ease and things, especially if there's something that we've been ignoring, because maybe with this Knight of Wands we've been using different distractors and things, you know, trying to have fun in order to ignore an underlying cause or things, or any, it doesn't even necessarily have to be something fun, but just using something to that we're not paying attention to, like an underlying cause or something along those lines. So let me get a little bit more with the sun here, Taurus. Thank you. What's going on here? Oh, all right. So we have all four of the knights here. And so you have the sun is clarified by the Four of Wands and the Knight of Cups. And I do feel like that it's because the knights are about motion, you know, they're all working towards something, but it's just like, I feel like it's being mindful of working to your detriment, you know? But oh, okay, so switching gears, Taurus. I like that. Let's switch gears a little bit, because just kind of going back to the romance a little bit, because the Four of Wands can be like a card of marriage and things like that, and that is a serious situation, and maybe for some we're thinking about, excuse me, we're thinking about taking a relationship to that next level, you know, go from, because the Knight of Cups, he's very romantic, oh, excuse me, lady, she's very romantic, and is very like, I feel that, yeah, I feel that it's like we're taking this things to the, or at least thinking about taking things to the next level here. Maybe our, and Taurus, if it's your partner that's thinking about taking things to the next level, act surprised. But it's, I do feel like that something is getting ready to potentially divulge, or you know, evolve here. You know, maybe the routine is getting ready to change and something along those lines. Maybe, and this could be too, maybe let's talk about with this busyness, maybe it's been like our partners or something we've been, and maybe that's what we've been working for, whether this is you or your partners, like we're working so enough so that we can get to this place of like proposal and things, you know, buy that like perfect ring and, you know, make this whole perfect situation. But you know, I feel that even I bet if you were to set up even something as simple as like, you know, like having some grapes and flowers in like the middle of a courtyard and just like really enjoying each other's company and just basking in that energy, you know, that kind of Nine of Cups, that love romance thing. I feel like that would even prove, I bet you that would raise their vibration through the roof. So I like that too. Okay, that's what I said. Let me not just focus on all this doom and gloom. Look at me kind of just poo-pooing romance. No, let's I like that, Taurus. All right, I'm with it. Let's rearrange some of this stuff, y'all, and then let's talk about, since you got all this Pisces energy, let's talk about Pisces. All these knights. Let's see. Oh, okay. I was just thinking too, just as a, yeah, just as a little sidebar there, that maybe for some, maybe we have a number of suitors maybe that happen to be coming your way, Taurus. So just lovely place to have some options, but But I do feel that, that let's not drag people along there. Not that I feel like you would, Taurus, but just something to think about. But with Pisces energy, you have Saturn that's in Pisces, and then you have Neptune that's in Pisces, and both are retrograde right now. And Saturn is going to be retrograde until the 4th of November. And with Saturn being retrograde, Saturn is this is kind of like a cosmic interrogation. Saturn's just like, you got all these big dreams, you got your love and stuff, we've been making connections. Like, what have we been doing to get to those goals? Because Pisces, being both Jupiter and Neptune ruled, really do have like massive imaginations and big, crazy dreams, and not even crazy, but just wonderful dreams that can be manifest. And now Saturn's just like, let's see them. Let's get to work. You have all the tools here. Let's do it. He's really kind of rooting us on here and really wanting us to just like raise the vibration. And also too, great energy for just like connecting with yourself there, Taurus. And even with this romance, if we're not even looking for love, this could even be something where we're doing loving things for ourselves, Taurus. Treating ourselves to a date night. You don't need an excuse you don't need anybody to go out there and be your emperor self. Go ahead and get yourself table of one. I remember, this little sidebar, I remember this woman that came in. I used to work at this place a little while back, and she came in, got her sat down, got a table. She had a nice view of the Space Needle, and she got a full course meal, got herself a nice little bottle of wine, did the apps, did the salad, entree, dessert, read a book, lived her best life. And I was just like, yes. So that's something to think about there too, Taurus. But also, you got Neptune that's going to be retrograde until the 6th of December. And with her being retrograde, this really is a powerful time for introspection, Taurus, and really finding that inner light, that inner, just connecting with you. And it's beautiful what can really be accomplished here with Neptune. And the one little caveat I will say with her is that we want to be mindful of escapism and things that are, bringing dis-ease and things along those lines. So that's just another little tidbit to pay attention to there. And then depending on where your placements are at, you had a lot going on as far as like aspect wise, Taurus, because this is going to be forming a sextile with your sign. And with that energy, this sextiles they're like aces. Their potential. It's one of those things where if you're presented with an opportunity, maybe like with one of your connections, it's either you take it or you leave it. The energy doesn't care. But it's just like it needs a little work, because it's fortunate, but it's passive. So we want to make the most of this stuff. If something, especially if something feels like it could definitely take you somewhere, see where that goes, Taurus. The energies are kind of setting you up between the trine and the sextile. That's fantastic. But let's get an oracle on this and get some details. Going on here. All right, so we got the 9th card of Capricorns here, which is the Master card. And with this card, this is a card of discipline, working smart, focus, structure, teaching, training, conquer, overcome, controlled, learning a skill, in the flow, authoritarian, and commanding presence. And the energy that's coming through here is the in the flow, Taurus. And I feel that this is really kind of talking about where we're getting to those that energy of like connecting to source and your higher self, ancestor, spirit, however that works for you, Taurus. Because where we all are, we all have are capable of intuition, but don't sleep on how intuitive you are. Because sidebar, just thinking about, since you got the Chariot here, Cancer, you we Cancer and Taurus has a really tight relationship because I feel like we feel similarly, but it's a little bit different, you know. But the moon is exalted in your sign, and you are the Hierophant in the major arcana, and I feel like one doesn't get the title for the or get represented by such a wise figure by not being in flow with the energy. The Hierophant is like the conduit between the divine realm and the spiritual, or in the divine realm and the material realm. And so you really do, you know, the way earth signs manifest is really cool. You are in touch with this realm deeper than than other elements are. And so I really feel like this is really getting in that Empress flow and figuring out how you can take the abundance that is around you and make the most of these opportunities that are presented to you, and not even the one and creating opportunities. I feel like for yourself, just like really kind of following. It's almost giving me very kind of Queen of Pentacles vibes, where we're just feeling the flow of the energy and just really kind of guiding this chariot to your destination is the sun, happiness, abundance, victory. Because you got a lot of strong victory cards here: Four of Wands, Empress, Chariot, Sun. So definitely work with this energy, Taurus. This is really fantastic. I like that. Let's And I also kind of feel too, you know, just when we're talking about with this disease and stuff, you know, being in touch with the body, you know, paying attention to how this thing flows and how your energy is just yeah, just kind of tuning with yourself here too, you know, that physically, energetically, you know, making sure that even like your masculine and feminine energies are in balance, because we all have Emperor and Empress energies in us, you know. But let's get some tarot and get some details. Thank you. Oh, there's hubby. Oh, and their child. I'm with it, Taurus. Oh, sidebar. If you are, just because I said that, if you are thinking about babies, you know, considering you got all this romantic in it, because that's a serious situation too, and that's a game changer. If you're in the King and Queen of Wands, those are a very passionate couple. And so if you're thinking about babies, you know, this could be great energy for you. But if not, let's be mindful. But you have the King of Wands, the Page of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and then the Four of Pentacles here. And interesting. I almost feel like with the Queen of Cups being here, there's a need to, maybe for some, when we're, I don't know, there's a sense of like really, because the Queen of Cups is very intuitive. You know, she's a type that, because Cancer energy, she feels it in a way that is, I might need to pull a card on her, but I do feel that there is this energy of needing to really kind of tune in more to the flow. And I feel like one way to do that, Taurus, is to tap into, because the King and Queen of Wands are also very, when I say they're very passionate, you know, this could be, you know, when we're talking about, you know, following the things that you love, and, you know, producing that art and things, with Venus, your ruler, being in Leo. You know, that could be a way for you getting into the flow, you know, creating starting up a new project or something along those lines. But I do feel there's a need to, with the Four of Pentacles here, it's like we've been kind of keeping something to ourselves, and there's a need to kind of tap into these reserves or something along those lines there, Taurus. Like tap into like yeah, something here. And I almost even feel like with the King of Wands, it's like there's like gonna be like a readjustment almost, because the Eight of Pentacles has just been kind of chilling by itself here, and I almost feel like there's like you know, the King of Wands can be like a game plan for me, you know, getting things in order. And I feel like your flow is getting ready to change here. And but let me see what the Queen of Wands is talking about here. Or excuse me, the Queen of Cups is talking about. I do have one thing I do want to say about that. But oh, so, we just I love that. Because there's the High Priestess. I love that, which is the moon. Oh, and there's hubby. I love this. The Queen of Cups is husband. So you got the Queen of Cups is clarified by her man, the King of Cups, and then you got the High Priestess here. So you got a lot going on here, Taurus. I feel like that there's a lot, I feel like a lot of change for some of you that's getting ready to happen here. And there's going to need to, I don't know, there's a need to kind of tap into your, really be intuitive and really be, when we're making our moves and really being present here. And how fascinating, all these divine counterparts coming through here. Yeah, something I feel like is happening in the ether here towards us. And especially I feel like if we're looking for love, I would say really pay attention to the flow. Get yourselves out there, because again, even though Venus may be retrograde, that does not mean that love is going to slow down. Or well, yes, it does, but that doesn't mean that that love isn't going to be there. So, because that's wild. More. All right, yeah, we're gonna leave that there. That's dope. Okay. Let's talk about this last energy, Pluto, so I can get you out there and get you. I had a lot to say about that, Taurus. We're just having a good old time. But let's talk about Pluto and Capricorn, because Pluto's going to be retrograde in Capricorn until the 10th of October. And with this energy, you know, this is really about asking you, what does success look like to you? You know, and what is it like? And not even just like with just like with working with others, but also just like independently. You know, what do you need to do to feel like you can stand on your own 2 feet and be proud of the accomplishments that you have made in your journey? You know what I mean? And if we're not feeling proud of that stuff, you know, like that of that, then it's just like, what do we need to do to shift that? And then on a more kind of global standpoint, you know, you may notice changes in power, you know, whether this be, you know, in governments or anything lower along those lines. So just something to pay attention to there. And depending on where your your placements are, and this is going to be more towards like the latter degrees of Capricorn, because Pluto's only going to go retrograde up into the 27th degree until it goes back into until he moves forward into Aquarius. So you're going to definitely need your time of birth in order to get like a real sort of accurate read on this. But this is also like the Virgo energy is going to be forming a trine with your sign. So see, very harmonious energy that's working your way through here. And see how these obstacles are clearing up? Soulmates are literally just kind of falling out of the sky here. So that's a wonderful problem to have. Let's get some tarot on this. Yeah. Thank you. That's what's up. Oh, interesting. All right, let's shift gears a little bit. That's fascinating that the opposites would come up like that. So you have the 5th card of Cancers here, which is the Urn card. And with this card, okay, maybe this card always kind of makes me tear up a little bit, Taurus, because this is a card of loss, death, forfeiture, grief, closed up, bereaved, breakup, poverty, collapse, dispossess, remove, dismantle, deprive, absence, change of state, setback, it's over and done. And the energy that's coming through here, Taurus, is the grief. And I almost feel like for some that maybe if there's been this, if we've been maybe kind of grieving over something, you know, maybe we've, and, you know, take it as it resonates, you know, but, you know, maybe we've been, maybe it's like for some, I'm just thinking with, since the Hierophant isn't here, it's just like, maybe it's like, maybe we're, and not necessarily that you're gone, Taurus, but it's just like that, maybe we've dealt or dealing with like a loss of maybe like a divine counterpart, possibly, whether that be through a breakup or through otherwise, and there's still that healing that's needing to be done. I feel where that can be tough dealing with that, and we may feel that we may never find something quite like that again. And the thing is, you won't, Taurus, because it's, no one can be Queen of Cups. There won't be another King of Cups like that, but there will be other King of Cups that bring different vibes. Maybe they may have a little more of a King of Wands flavor, maybe a King of Swords or something along those lines. And grief is, that's a tough one. I feel, and I will say with that, where I'm just thinking of, there's this album that I really like, by Sia. It's one of her older ones. It's called Healing is Difficult, and it's got, I like how her cover is, because it's this scars on her face that she put on her cheek. That's the title cover, and where the wound may never go away, it does heal. It just takes some time, and however that looks like for you. I'm just thinking, even with the High Priestess, she's the moon, and it may take several lunar cycles until we're feeling confident enough to, maybe, how we were feeling feisty, like with the Queen of Wands, and getting ourselves out there again. And but I do feel that when the energy feels right, and when it's time, and it feels in the flow, you'll know when it is time to get yourself back out there, and to get to get back out there in the game there, Taurus. There's just, depending on how that may resonate. But let's get some last few cards on this. Right, thank you. Let's see what's going on here, Taurus. See that, and that's beautiful. I like that, because even that's, so you got these Taurus, you and Libra were doing this. So you got the Judgment card, the Ace of Cups, and then the Ten of Cups here. Let's switch back over. Because with this energy, yes, I know, don't look at me. But with the, let's start with the Judgment, because that's how funny, that's Pluto energy, and Pluto brings about rebirth and change, and he lives in the 8th house, and that deals with death and intense things, wills and all that stuff. But the Judgment card is a rebirth. It's where Pluto may be furthest from the sun. That doesn't mean, that does give you something to, that you do know that you can get back towards that. Pluto brings things to light, and that can be you too as well, Taurus. You can still get to this happy home, happy family, all this stuff, and reestablish something new, and whatever that looks like for you. But I do feel that it's something, especially since you got the Empress and the Queen of Cups, it's, and we were talking about that too, self-care, and really tending to yourself, and however that looks, and taking as much time as you need, but trying not to stay in that. And it's the trying, it's going to take a few, it may take maybe a lunar cycle or two, until we're feeling adjusted again, and all that stuff, and feeling balanced out. But know that you have a lot of love to give, Taurus, and the Ace of Cups is just this bottomless well of love, and I feel like that's something where we want to make sure, especially we've been feeling in that energy, just to drown yourself in that, as far as just like, just doing things for you, that just, whether this be, just getting some more rest, or maybe even just getting out in nature, maybe even going on a vacation for a little while, going on a sabbatical, Empress retreat, something along those lines. But I mean, Taurus, yeah, you got divine counterparts all over the place. That's, I do feel like things will line back up for you. You know, it's only it's temporary, these feelings, and they can be intense with the Judgment card, but you are emerging a new you, you know, and it's, you know, that makes sense. But I think I'll leave that there, Taurus. So I hope overall you like that. A little bit of a somber ending there, but I think we had a pretty decent time through this reading there, Taurus, and thank you for that. That was a nice little nice energy that you brought here. But if you like that, Taurus, give it a thumbs up and share this. You know, if you know someone is looking for love, or you know, going through this state of dis-ease, or you know, that might be something too, Taurus. Maybe this is you trying to get on your maybe your partner, as far as like taking care of themselves or something along those lines. But you share this, Taurus, and then all you empresses and your divine counterparts, have you all subscribe, hit that bell button, and you get notified about these videos each week. And Taurus, let's let me raise the vibration a little bit, because look at you, you got Queen of Cups, our ruler, the High Priestess, and then the hottest ticket to come over to my other channel. And not that you need any of them, but if you have any Cancer in your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, come on over to the Chariot and Friends. It don't even matter you got Cancer. I told you, we got it in tight, Taurus. You're in good great graces with the Moon, and you know what, Venus likes to kick it in our sign too. So we discussed lunar shenanigans. You can meet Rhonda. It's a good old time. I know, right? She's an obsidian moon. I know I'm doing a lot. And all that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, so I can get you out of here. I like that. Because you got the Four of Cups here, Taurus. And I feel like with the Four of Cups, you know, especially if we've been going through maybe like a grief thing, or just with this energy in general, you know, I just feel like we want to be careful of getting to this place of like apathy, or getting to this place of not caring or something along those lines. Whether this be, and I don't want to say we don't care about our health, but it's just like where we're not paying attention to, where we're just sort of like, you know, we're focusing on other things as opposed to like the signals that are coming from the body, or from like higher self, or maybe even opportunities for love. You know, maybe it's just like we have this checklist that we're looking for here, where there's a perfectly, maybe even like, you know, we're out here looking for like King of Cups, and then, you know, Emperor is trying to get your attention here, but it's just like, well, he's not King of Cups though, and it's just like, duh, he's the Emperor. You know what I mean, Taurus. But let me get your oracle card. Oh. All right, thank you. All right, Taurus. And that's fascinating, because you got the Create card in reverse here. And I feel like with the Create card, this really is, in all aspects, I feel that the biggest thing, and I was telling Libra this too, you really are in a very creative energy right now. And again, once she moves out of the sign, it doesn't mean it's going to go away, but it's just like right now, it's getting familiar with how creative you can be, the potential that you do have. You got 3 of the 4 aces here. You got a whole, you got a lot of stuff that was sinking up here, like a Queen of Cups trying to sneak in there. But you got a lot of potential here that you're working with. All you're missing of these aces is that heat, that action that's needed to be taken. So you manifest your heart out, Taurus, and manifest till you can't, and then rest up, and then manifest some more. And whatever that's looking like, art, music, dance, building, mechanics, science. I don't know how that looks in science, but I would love to see it, Taurus. So I bet a lot of others would too, because it's interesting. But I think I'm gonna leave that there. So you stay safe out there, doing all this mingling, watching our health, going through, healing through grief. You know, stay safe out there. And all that too, raise your vibration through the roof. Because this is beautiful energy that you brought me here, Taurus. It's fantastic. You and Libra really kind of, I don't know what Empress is on. So work with that. And I will catch you on the next one. Later.